So good morning to the MEEC members and good morning Visual Systems Group. Thank you for joining us this morning. And Visual Systems, thank you for presenting. I'm Pat Collins, the MEEC coordinator. The host today would be Rashawn Wood, VSGI MEEC specialist. Your topic will be Cloud Solutions for Hybrid Learning by VSGI. Rashawn Wood will be presenting and will also introduce the additional presenters. Tamara Petranka, I see you are on the line. Good morning, Tamara.
Good morning, Tamara.
I see her on. I don't know if doesn't look like she's muted. So Rashawn, you want to go ahead and introduce your presenters?
Certainly. So I just want to say good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for everyone that was able to join this morning, and for those who will be watching this later, thank you so much for taking the time. Just to kind of start off, just a couple of remarks. We all know 2020 was a year like no other, and it presented a lot of challenges that we've all never seen before. And we know from our side that these challenges were felt no more, I would say, probably no more significantly than in the education organizations. As the education organizations were forced very quickly to adjust to new methods of communication in order to provide their quality care and continue with their classes with as few interruptions as possible. And because of this, last year, working with the MEEC team, VSGI was able to host a series of webinars for MEEC members that identified available solutions to address the hurdles of that significant moment. And in keeping with that same goal this year, as we all began to reopen and look for ways to get back to our institutions safely, VSGI was able to work with the MEEC team and our partners at pexip to bring you this webinar today, our Cloud Solutions for Hybrid Learning. So I just wanted to say thank you again to the pexip team for joining us, and as well to the MEEC team for allowing us to host this, and to all of the members that were able to join. And Jeff, thank you. Today the webinar will be presented by myself. I'm the VSGI MEEC specialist. I'm your main point of contact at VSGI. So if you have any projects that you're working on or design help or solutions, I'm your main point of contact for you to reach out. And as well, joining me from the pexip team, we have the pexip director for enterprise solutions for the Mid-Atlantic region, Mr. Jeff Yangling. I'll let him introduce himself, but as well joined with Jeff is his top pexip solutions architect, Mr. Darren Fold, and as well, Mr. Robert Short. Jeff, you could go ahead and move on to the next slide.
There we go.
So just a couple of quick notes for everybody joining the call. The presentation is going to be recorded, or is being recorded as we speak. So if you do have any questions, we just ask that you please hold them until the end of the presentation. That way, just to kind of tamp down any confusion. But if you do have to ask, if you can't make it to the end of the presentation, just feel free to send your question in the chat feature. And if you look on the screen at the top left corner, there's a little icon with what looks like a little chat symbol. You can just click on that icon, go into the chat, and if you have a question, just feel free to put the note in there. And at the end of the webinar, our moderator, who is actually my boss, Manoja, she will be taking a look at the Q&A, and she will present those to the presenters, to Jeff, Darren, and Robert, and myself. Another couple notes, if you'd like the presentation to be larger, you can just double click on the presenter's box, and that will enlarge. As it is going to be slides, I think everybody sees the view as the slide, so that may not come into play, but if that changes, just feel free to click on the box and it will enlarge the screen of the active speaker. And if you have any questions after the webinar, please feel free to send them to our alias, meek@vsgi.com. You can go ahead and move on to the next slide, sir. So just real quick, for any customers that were not able to join us last year for our webinars, this is our first webinar this year. We will be doing more of these, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick introduction to who I am and who we are at VSGI. As you can see in that beautiful picture on the left, that is the VSGI sales family. That's everybody that we work with. There's a couple people in there that if you do end up talking to us, there's a couple of engineers in there that work with us directly on the MEEC team. VSGI, we're a nationwide AV integrator. We've been in the business for over 30 years. And our approach to assisting our customers is developing custom solutions that are based on your objectives. And like I said, that's the reason why we wanted to bring the pexip team today. One of the things that when we were reached out to over the winter by MEEC that I saw in the surveys was customers asking about what cloud solutions are available, what solutions are available to help us bridge these gaps and be able to get back safely. And that's why we want to bring in the hybrid, bring in the pexip team for this. Another quick thing about VSGI, before I turn it over to the pexip team, one of the great things about us, we have a proven track record of designing great solutions. We have the highest level of certifications for our install team and for our sales team. So we're trusted advisors. We have done a lot of different projects with customers in the state of Maryland. And so we have a general lay of the land, and as well, we are a full hardware and AV services provider on the MEEC contract for all regions. So that's enough information about us. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our friends at pexip to discuss what we came here to discuss today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Yangling. As Rashawn mentioned, I'm the Enterprise Sales Director for the Mid-Atlantic region, and that includes, all the SLED type organizations. My role is really to listen and learn and understand what your key challenges are, provide you insight into how pexip is working within the education space, and really how we're providing some unique solutions to these challenges you have. And it's a very, very crazy time in terms of how you're providing services across to your students, across to your organizations, your universities, and such. In addition to myself, Darren is on our call as well. Darren's the really smart guy. So as you have questions, I'm good at presenting, but Darren's good at answering any kinds of questions. So the agenda today really is just and this is not about pexip, right? But I do want to give you just a brief overview of who we are and what we provide, and then spend most of the time is just talking. I think a lot of it's about chaos, right? The current state in what happened almost a year ago today, in terms of what has happened in how we are delivering and how we're communicating and how we're engaging with just about anybody, be it students, be it faculty, be it vendors, be it partners, whomever. It's our world has really changed. A key to that is about interoperability. It's about leveraging what you have and how to get the most out of that in the most cost-effective and efficient means possible. And then we're going to talk about a couple different solutions and a new partnership we have. Two things about me when I present. I do get very excited because I think we've got a great solution, and I call it the perfect storm when I talk to people about what it is that we do and how we can provide support for you. So even though Rashawn said to wait to the end, if you want to jump up and down and flag and just shout out, we can take your questions as we go throughout the presentation. Okay? So Darren, do you have anything to add to that, or is that right on target?
Right on target, Jeff, as always, right on target.
Rashawn, you okay with that agenda? Does that sound great? Okay. Perfect. So Pexip we're about a 10-year-old company, and we really focus on providing the best user experience, okay, for anybody trying to connect into any kind of video conferencing solution or platform. So we offer our own meetings platform, that you can just dial in direct and have a Pexip meeting. We also offer what's called B2C platform, business to consumer. And I can equate that to, student to teachers, or, teachers to students, actually, and across universities, and how you're going to communicate. We also, a key to what we do is really around integration and interoperability, and being able to leverage what you have and make the user experience exceptionally easy. And then the final over on the far right is meeting interop. We have some very unique solutions with Microsoft and with Google that we will talk about as well. One of the unique differentiators, and we'll spend time talking about this, is our delivery platforms. So, we're talking about cloud delivery, and that's a huge component about what is going on today. But we see customers coming to us and saying, you know what, rather than being in a multi-tenant cloud environment, like a Zoom, for example, we want to have more control over the specific environment that we're having people join, and we're sharing, very important private information, with people. So there's different deployment options for a pexip private cloud, which gives you your own single tenant, or we have our self-hosted in the cloud as well, okay, in your own premises. So basically what we do is we enable everybody to meet at any time. I don't care what your device is, your endpoint device. So when you go into your conference rooms or your meeting rooms or your classrooms that have different types of Cisco or Polycom endpoints, whatever those are that your organization has made significant investments in, I don't care if you're dialing from a desktop app, a phone, a laptop, an iPad, or whatever, and I don't care what kind of browser you're using. For you to effectively communicate across any kind of video platform and device, you need to make it easy for people to join. And that's really, if there's one key takeaway that what you walk away from today is saying pexip provides me options to leverage what I have. I don't have to retool everything, and I make it easy. I make it very easy for my people to join any type of meeting. So I like to look at the current state, right, of what's going on, and I call it chaos, right? There's the past year and a half, 2 years has been a very chaotic situation. Since 2020. There's been a huge growth in the video conferencing business, an incredible growth in that business. A lot of that has been driven by Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is the fastest growing product stack that Microsoft has ever come out with. And part of that is a video conferencing component. And that's included in most subscriptions that you would have for your O365 licensing model with Microsoft. So you would have access to video conferencing. If you look back right now, a year ago right now, COVID-19 hit, and as Rashad mentioned, immediate chaos, immediate go home. You can't come into the office. You can't be in the schoolroom. You can't be there. But we have to find a way to still engage with our employees, to engage with our students. And how do we maintain some semblance of order with this? And as a result of that, there has been explosive growth in video conferencing, okay? And what that really resulted in is a lot of video conferencing solutions, right? A lot of people using Zoom right now. Zoom exploded in the education space. A lot of organizations, as I mentioned, have Teams, so they're using Teams more, throughout their enterprise. WebEx has been a standard in the marketplace. People expanded their WebEx licensing. Pexip, we saw over 200% growth in our video conferencing platform. And then a company like Blue Jeans or 8x8, there's all different types of peripheral players as well as Google. I forgot to put Google in there. Google has seen explosive growth in their video conferencing platform as well, right? So that has been, just a proliferation of all these, which as you look at that, and if you took an inventory inside your own organization, I would bet you that almost all of you have at least 3, if not more of those. Okay, and when we talk about ease of use, each one of those has its own unique way of how you're going to enter a meeting. And do I need a user ID? Do I need a passcode? Do I click on a link? Do I have to download an app? What the heck do I have to do? And that gets very confusing for people, okay? In 2021, right now, I deal with organizations every day. We're talking about return to work, return to school, return to office initiatives, okay? So keep in mind, as part of that, we have become a video-centric culture, right? We see in the interviews we do in our customer panels tell us that they see still a focus on using video conferences. That's going to be part of what we do every day. As a result of that, and going up, 2 bullet points there with all the different video conferencing solutions, there is a huge interoperability challenge. How do I make all of these different solutions work? And then when I go into my classrooms or into my labs or into my big presentation rooms, how do I connect into the Cisco and Polycom endpoints? So right now, I think is a critical time. So we have, with upcoming renewals of what I call chaos buying, right? Chaos buying is like, March, we're shutting down. You can't come into the school. You can't come into the office. You can't come into the university. But I still want to communicate to you, so I've got to buy something. You now have an opportunity to really evaluate across the board and what is the best solution for your organization. What meets your requirements the best? What gives the people the most flexibility and the ease of use of joining? And how do you have the most control and the most security of the environment you're going to meet into? So I'm going to address all of those issues. Okay. Any questions or comments? I'm sure Manoj is watching the queue there, so don't hesitate to reach out, shout out if you need any assistance. Okay. So as I mentioned, the largest growth has been really around Microsoft Teams and Google Meet. It's been explosive. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. And, a very simple graphic, and these little people here show that the black circle represents your internal organization. The white circle in the middle is the meeting solution or the platform that people are going to join by. And if you're an individual and you get invited to a Teams or to a Google Meet meeting and you're sitting at home and you're on your laptop, you can very easily click on those links and you can join those meetings. It's very simple to do that, okay? Keep in mind, all of these little green people, little blue people, they're going to come back into the office at some point in time, come back into the school, into the lab, and they're going to want to go into a conference room, and these Cisco and Polycom endpoints, they're going to want to connect to those. And as soon as they join that meeting and they click on the link to join, they're going to hit a wall. Because without getting technical, and if anybody has technical questions, Darren can go as deep as you'd like to go. There is no transcoding of a SIP dial-in information for Teams or Google that it does not provide those Cisco, Polycom, Tandberg endpoints the right coding, the transcoding, to be able to join those meetings. That's a huge problem for customers, okay, for students or anyone trying to join from those endpoints. So we have in the Cisco, in the Microsoft world, it's called a cloud video interop. In the Google world, it's just called interoperability. We provide a solution that is added into the invites, that's added into a cloud service, the opportunity for, regardless of the device that you're on, regardless of where you're dialing in from, you can connect to all of those meetings, to all of those Google or Microsoft Teams meetings. That is a huge, huge, huge advantage and benefit for you. Okay, and that's just not the internal people inside your university or your school district. When you send meetings outside to other people, if they're connecting in from those endpoints, they need that interoperability to be able to join those meetings as well. So it provides a very smooth entry for anybody to be able to join those meetings. That's a huge positive thing. In addition to that, though, we create and have what's called one-touch join, which enables you for those Zoom meetings, assuming that you have a Zoom license, what's called a Zoom room connector license, that enables you to join one-touch meeting from all those devices as well. So that provides a great meeting experience for your people to do that. Just to reemphasize, though, we're one of only 4 solutions that's certified by Microsoft to provide that native Teams workflow experience, meaning if you're creating a Teams meeting, you simply go ahead and create the Teams meeting. You select a room, and you select when you have the CVI engaged, it automatically adds that SIP dial-in information into the meeting invite, and it sends it out, and people just click on a meeting. So there's no training, there's no user acceptance, it's the same exact workflow that you've always had using Teams. I know Google is very popular inside the education environment. It is the exact same workflow. It is the exact same meeting experience that anyone will have. And we do have a variety of different consumption models and how you would license that and be able to purchase that. Okay, so that takes care of a huge part of organizations and what they're using. In addition, we do have what's called one of our solutions that's embedded inside of our Teams and Google solution. We've actually started selling this, and we're doing Rashawn and I are working with a department in the University of Maryland on a one-touch join solution. So one-touch join enables a pexip solution to be embedded inside of your endpoints, inside of your meetings, that when you walk into the meeting, you click just a join meeting, and that includes, all the major platforms like Zoom and BlueJeans and Teams and Google Meet and WebEx and all that. So that if you're already standardized on the platforms you're using, one-touch join is a way that that you can use a pexip solution to really enhance the ease of use in joining any type of meeting. Okay. Any comments, questions? Rashad, is that pretty good? We doing all right?
So far, so good, sir.
All right. So changing gears into another pexip offering. We have what's called Pexip Infinity. I get really excited when I talk about Pexip Infinity, because when you look across the video conferencing spectrum, and even the title of this presentation is about hybrid cloud solutions. Okay, so we see many organizations are looking at, and as I said, now is the time to do this. Now is the time for you to really evaluate what is the best solution you have, and when you look at your video conferencing platform, if one of your key objectives is to have maximum control over your video conferencing platform,
okay.
Hello? Okay. If you really want to maintain the control of the data, you want to control the security. Somebody's got to go on mute.
Oh, so I think somebody might be on.
She did a one backwards too. What's up with that? What is that?
Hello.
Yeah,
Ryan Berry.
Do the other way there, kid. You got to remember which way to go, okay?
Hello.
Noja, would you?
Yes, I would. Thank you. Ryan, I'm going to mute you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. So if you're looking at control, right? How can you maximize the control you have of the participants that's coming and leaving your meeting, over the flow of information, and how is it going out into the out across the internet in a pure SaaS type model, a pure cloud deployment, a multi-tenant cloud that you're out there in with other users and subscribers. If you want to maintain that control, if you want to maximize the security, meaning whatever security protocols that you have set up with people being able to get into your own internal systems, if you're looking for ways that you can brand your website and do any kind of third-party integrations, I'm working with a customer right now on integrating into their scheduling system. I'm going to show you a couple examples of customer success stories at the Veterans Administration and Kaiser Permanente of how they were able to integrate into their healthcare systems, okay? And having multiple deployment options, right? That you can deploy this inside your own customer data center. And customers ask us, well, can you tell us about the security of your Pexip Infinity solution? And it's a very simple answer. You know, if you're hosting it on premise, it's as good as the security that you have across all of your solutions and all of your applications, right? We also can deploy this in our Pexip private cloud. What's unique about that is it is a single tenant. It is your own instance in the cloud. Okay, so that provides maximum security and accessibility as well. And when you can also deploy it in your own private cloud. Okay, so that once again gives you multiple deployment options. Darren made me put down here in the bottom, it's also available in the SaaS deployment as well. So we got a lot of flexibility. So when we look at, what the huge advantage with pexip is, okay, pexip Infinity, it really provides that wall, right? That wall that really protects your data, your users, access into the system. You have the maximum control over that. And we're engaged with many organizations right now with that exact topic in mind, that they want to take control over their whole environment. So Rashad said we're going to have some technical folks on the call as well. So I had to put some kind of diagram in here. And really, when you look at this on the internal sites in the greenish blue area, that's really how we set up the pexip Infinity solution. That's all behind your firewall. That's all within inside your devices and all your SIP room systems, all your PC devices, and administrative control comes over there. If you look over on the far right, here's all the external networks. These are users coming outside your organization, and they're coming in. But as you notice in the middle, the DMZ, that is really where the security and the control and all that happens. And that's really where you have the maximum protection in terms of how you the Veterans Administration. We're very, very proud of this deployment that we have. First of all, it's the largest deployment that we have across all of pexip. This is a couple-year solution. We really accelerated it over the past year. So a lot around suicide prevention. So as we have soldiers all around the world in different types of environments and all that. And there was a real challenge in getting support to soldiers when they needed support and they needed to talk to somebody. Okay, so we've deployed our pexip Infinity solution inside the VA on their servers and such, and customize it so a veteran can literally go into their portal and click one link and they're immediately connected to a counselor. Okay, we do over 10,000 calls a day with the Veterans Administration. Very proud of this deployment. It works absolutely superb. We did for extended health care with Kaiser Permanente with our pexip Infinity solution. So the ability for them to be able to customize for healthcare, telehealth solutions, and be able to communicate with users. And with the advent of COVID and the ability for them to integrate in with their different Epic solutions, that's a medical record system, and to be able to track patient records inside a video conferencing platform was a huge advantage into Kaiser Permanente. And just as a matter of record, right now, pexip on our Infinity platform, right? Once again, so the use case in being healthcare, it's not that much different than education and providing that kind of security and support. We do over 75% of all telehealth calls that's done in the marketplace right now. So that just talks to the flexibility and the power of pexip Infinity. One final slide that I have here, and this is really looking out in time. This has to do with our partnership with Logitech. So we just announced this, and this is a futures. So you're probably going to get really excited about this, and we're going to put this on hold for a little bit. But Logitech has just announced a new Rallybar portfolio of products, and that really addresses more of the mid-size to small to office conferencing type requirements that users are going to have. Inside this Rallybar device, it is going to come pre-installed with 5 different video conferencing solutions. And you can see them at the bottom: Zoom, Teams, our pexip video conferencing solution, because we do have that, GoToMeeting, and Ring Central. Okay, those are all SIP-enabled video conferencing devices. By the end of Q2, into Q3, what our pexip solution inside the Rallybar is going to enable you to do is when you launch the Rallybar, you have to register to one of these solutions. If you register to Zoom, all you can do is connect to Zoom. It's a one-way connection and registration into Zoom. The same with Teams and so on. If you register to Pexip and through our cloud video interop, you will be able to connect to all of these solutions. So the question becomes, why select one when you can get all 5 with a Pexip solution? So Rashawn and I will be working very, very close as we come about. We heard a stat that Logitech does over 50% of all video conferencing endpoints sales. So we see a huge surge in this. It's been a tremendous response so far. So we look to, have a viable option for you as you look to upgrade, replace, or enhance your video conferencing endpoints. So with that, Rashawn, we are going to go to questions, comments, observations that any of the participants have or anybody on the call has. And let's take a pause right here.
Okay. So does any participants on the call have any questions? And feel free, like Jeff said, to either send your question via the chat or as well, just go ahead and ask. Floor is all yours.
At this time, everyone is unmuted.
Anybody have anything?
Jeff, I think you were so clear in your presentation that you answered all questions.
You think so?
So I thought of a question for maybe some of our MEEC members that may not have been able to join, but that will be able to see this, that are, not just on the educational space, but on the healthcare side of things. I know you talked about Kaiser Permanente. Can you speak a little bit more to how Pexip addresses HIPAA compliancy and what protocols are in place there? You speak to the HIPAA compliance.
So Darren, I'm throwing that to you because you're the smarter guy.
Thank you. So both offerings are HIPAA compliant. So the software as a service is a HIPAA compliant. We abide by those standards. Obviously, the Infinity or self-hosted model would be deployed, by the organization itself. So it would be kind of at their own, design, basically. And yeah, as far as security is baked into our product, everything we do. We're HIPAA compliant. We are JITC certified, which is by the Department of Defense. We do not, even if using software as a service, we do not retain any media. So any calls that are taking place, we only capture basically the metadata, like where is the call coming from, what's the statistics on the call, things like that. But none of the content is captured. Whether it's software as a service or obviously is self-hosted, we don't see any information. So security is a huge part, and short answer is yes, we are HIPAA compliant.
Thank you. Were there any more questions from any of the participants?
There was a question posted, Rashawn, on the chat window. As an organizer, can you mute everyone using a single button? And yes, you were able to mute everyone using a single button at the top right-hand side of your screen. As well, I'd just like to add that you can also drop participants as you choose fit as the organizer. So if you were getting too much feedback or someone was not authorized to be in the video conference itself, you're able to drop that particular person.
Thank you, Minoja. Okay. I think if nobody else has any more questions, I think Darren, you might be on to it. I think Jeff, you did an amazing job presenting.
Well, thank you.
No questions. Fantastic.
With that being said, we're open after the fact, right? Like if you have questions that you think, obviously email us or even schedule a call. We can do a deep dive at any point.
And yeah, Darren, so that truly is our ultimate objective, is, to be able to spend, time with you and really understand what is your end game, right? Where do you want to go? You can't be, we don't expect anybody to be an expert at the change. That the playing field is changing so rapidly. As I said, just with things like Logitech, with what they're coming out with the integration into Microsoft Teams, and there's lots of questions that people have. So, what should my strategy go? And unfortunately, a lot of it has been just individual people or departments have said, I need to do this now for me. It's all about me. And they make those decisions, but the coordination and coming up with a comprehensive strategy over how you're going to move forward, as an organization. Because as I said, the probably two of the biggest parts of feedback we've had from customers, from organizations, from universities, from healthcare, is that video conferencing is here to stay. Okay, people have gotten a lot of value out of having a video conferencing platform. So the objective of your organization should be is let's put the brakes on, let's look at what we have, let's determine where we want to go, and then let's fill in the pieces. Don't just keep buying stuff because I have a need today. Because the one thing that I have really, really learned from my customers over the past year is the key word that I have taken away is interoperability. How can I make an investment today, knowing that tomorrow, next month, next year, I'm going to be able to use that? And that's really, really important for you as an organization to understand that. So yes, Darren and I are available at your convenience. Set up a half hour, an hour discovery call. We can listen and learn about what you have. You can share where you want to go, and we can provide insight into, not only what is pexip doing, but and we don't solve all problems, right? We just don't. We were just on a call right before this one, and customers, can you do that? And unfortunately, I'm the sales guy. I wanted to say yes. And Darren's the smart guy, and he's like, no, we can't do that. So, we'll give you fair and candid feedback and give you some suggestions on best practices.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you can, move on to go on to the next slide. Just so for everybody that's on the call, this is our main points of contact. From left to right, I'm your VSGI MEEC specialist. So, how it is, pexip is on the MEEC contract in our offering. So, if we want to set up a time, like Darren and Jeff were saying, to really deeply elaborate and really understand your environment and how this solution could work for you, feel free to contact me directly. And Jeff, Darren, myself, we're very open. And we're very open to being on that call and being there for that discovery. So feel free to contact any one of us. These are the 3 contact informations. And like I said, that main MEEC at VSGI.com alias, you send that to, reach out to that alias. It will contact a whole group of people, including Manoja and myself. So you will be assisted. Excuse me. Jeff, if you don't mind, if you could stop sharing, I'd like to share something as well. Also, before you leave this slide, sorry, Jeff, please contact us for a free 30-day pexip license trial. I will also give it to Jeff to elaborate a little bit more on that, but we do offer this. So you don't have to just wonder about, does the solution work? We do offer a free 30-day trial. And like I said, I'll turn it over to Jeff to kind of elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah. So first of all, that's not really a picture of me. If anybody's wondering, that is actually, as Rashawn and I were planning this, that's the birth of my latest grandson, who is all of 8 days old today, and he's absolutely awesome. So it's there's nothing better than holding a little baby to putting everything in perspective. So that's William Samuel Manhertz there. Rashad, I'm really glad that you didn't put a free 30-day POC, because that, proof of concept, there is no concept. And I call it proof of value. What we have is the best part of Pexip is our solutions are proven. So if you come to us and say, you know what, we do have all these endpoints, we do want to be able to connect, we do have people coming back in the classroom, we can literally deploy our Microsoft CVI solution or our Google Interop solution literally in a day or so. You know, it's really dependent upon, you know, getting with your IT staff and being able to set those up. So we can provide that, no charge, no commitment, no nothing. It just flat out works. You know, our Infinity solution that is a more of a robust effort, because that has to do with installing software and implementing things. But that being said, if the use case fits and it's what you need, Darren and I can help facilitate that. So to me, there's nothing better than proving it inside your own environment and being able to work with you. So that is the, you know, as a sales guy, that's the sharp angle close, right? When we meet with you, we'll say, would you like to do a trial? Would you like a proof of value? So that is what we do. And we'll help you any way that we can.
Awesome. So thank you, Jeff. Just as we're getting ready to close, first off, I want to just say thank you to Jeff and thank you to Darren. Before we hand it back over to you, Patricia and Tamara, for the MEEC members, I did want to let you all know that VSGI, we are making we've made the investments to really, we put forth the effort for our customers. We're putting forth the effort. I wanted to take some time. I don't know if all of you have gotten this or been able to see this, but internally within VSGI, we have created a website specifically for MEEC members. Please let me know, everybody, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So this website is just vsgi.com/MEEC, and on this website, it's, like I said, specific for MEEC members. You can look at the left corner, you see the logo there. And what you can find on this website is very pertinent information for members. So, we're keeping this site updated as much as possible. Currently, we have information about the current CARES Act availability, funding, what different technologies are available. You even have your MEEC member discount posted on here. So you can kind of see exactly what we're offering, what we're all about, what we sell. A bit about our history and who we are, and as well, we put up pertinent information and our webinars. So we definitely want you guys to know this is an available resource to you. And as well, we would definitely love your feedback so that we can continue to grow and keep it relevant for all of you. We will send the final link, but with that, I do want to say I appreciate everybody's time this morning for joining us. And I, with that, want to turn it back over to Patricia and Tamara to close out.